Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time, my name is Precious. So today I've got a wonderful friend and a guest, and she's going to be talking about something really important. Coincidentally, she came at the right time because the message I got is the message that she is well qualified to answer. So I received a message recently and I'm going to be reading it out to you, and she is going to be answering the question that I got. So her name is Esther. So she's in academia. So I'll just leave her to introduce herself. Introduce yourself. I know I've introduced you, but introduce yourself.
So I'm a mom of two, and I've got experience in teaching, and I've built a career in academia. And my friend here is ready to bombard me with some questions, so I hope I can live up to her expectation.
Yeah. So we are moms. So we're just going to be talking about real, like we're going to be real as possible. And she's going to be bringing her experience. So I am going to read the question, and it says, I'm a very busy mom of 3 kids. I and my husband work full-time 9 to 5, and I'm struggling to balance everything, especially with the education on top of everything I'm doing. As a mom of 4 now, how do you support your kids, especially with your education? So today we're just going to be talking about how to support your kids with their education. And Esther, like I said, she's a professional. She's built her career in this area, and she's also a mom. So I think she's the best person to actually address or help this mom, because obviously we're all struggling with this, to be honest with you. So I give you to Esther while I'll be doing my own thing.
Thank you. I want to tell this mom that she's not alone, and this is not a problem that's unique to just her. There are so many other families that are in the same shoes. It's really difficult, especially, I don't know what your circumstances are, if you have mates at home, or you have help from family, or you have relatives, or you have any form of care, anybody else supporting you, looking after your kids. But if your situation is similar to us, which living in the UK, you don't have any support at all, it's just you and your kids and your family, it's a challenge that so many of us are facing. And the truth is, no one is an expert in terms of knowing. We are just going to share with you some of the things that I do that help me, and from my experience as well, what helps other parents. So first thing is you understanding where your kids are in terms of...
So can we just start with, they both work 9 to 5?
Yeah.
What are you going to say about that? Because that's where they are, and I would say financially they are okay, because obviously they are working 9 to 5. When I say okay, I don't mean they are, but they are okay. So working 9 to 5, from your experience as a teacher, what would you say about it before we continue to the other side?
Well, on working 9 to 5, it depends on what kind of jobs. So is it 9 to 5 where you have to go to the workplace? Is any of you working from home? So if both of you are going out from home to the workplace, and you're spending 9 to 5 o'clock somewhere outside of home and then coming back home, then that's a big challenge, because by the time you factor in travel time to work, you've worked, you're tired coming back, there really isn't much quality left in you to actually give to your kids when you get back home. And honestly, the little things they do can even upset you and all, because you're tired physically. I think what really helps some families is where you have the option to be able to work flexibly. So if one person can do a job that is more flexible, maybe have an early finish time rather than 5 o'clock. Some families do where one person starts really early and finishes just about the time kids finish from school. So there's one parent at home with the kids. Yeah. So if one of the parents have got an option to work flexibly from home, that really helps, because you can carry on with your work and also keep an eye on your kids and support them. So I would advise that if it's possible at all, for one person to do a role that is more flexible, where they can work from home.
So you're saying that it's not ideal. If you have the option, it's better for one person to have a more flexible job than the other person.
Yes, where possible. I know that it's not possible in all situations, depending on the kind of jobs that they've got. For some people, it might not be possible. Working from home might not be an option, and that's a different challenge. So if it's a family where both of you, your career path or the jobs that you're doing is such that you just can't. For example, if you're a surgeon, there's no way you can, treat your patients at home. Then you have to find a different way to manage that. And how you manage that is the time that you spend with your kids need to be very focused. So when you are back, you need to be very intentional about what you do in the time that you spend with your kids, because you know that most of the time you're out of home and your job is not one that you'll be able to walk around it in terms of flexibility. So it's what do you do with the time that you spend with your kids at home. Yeah, so if you're in a job that doesn't offer you that flexibility of working from home or being able to change your work schedule, you have to be very intentional about what you do with the time that you spend at home with your kids in terms of their support with their education. So some parents, I know you're busy, you're tired. Many people don't really actually discuss what happened in school with their kids. So having that discussion about what happened in school, letting the kids share with you what happened in school. For the children, it shows that you're interested in what they're doing, and that motivates them. As they go to school, they know that when they come back, they're going to have to share with their parents what they did in school, and so they take that a bit more seriously, so they can tell you something different, something new in the next day, and they know that you're interested in them. For parents who don't have a possibility of having that flexibility in terms of their work schedule.
So you're saying that it doesn't matter the quantity, it's the quality of time that actually matters, because there are some people that have the time, but they don't even do anything with their kids.
Exactly.
But there are people that actually work 9 to 5, and because they know they have that limited time, they are so focused, and they are so they manage their time so well that they tend to do more with their kids than even people that think they have all the time to themselves.
Absolutely. I think just like it is with anything else, right? Sometimes people might feel like they have all the time to do something and end up not doing anything. At all.
That's true.
So they feel like, oh, I've got the whole day, I've got 3 days to do this thing, and they still leave it to the last minute or don't actually do anything at all. So it's the same. Someone can be working from home or have a flexible job where they do a shift, but what do you actually do in that time? So it's being intentional with the amount of time, and don't feel guilty if you are working a 9 to 5 job. I mean, you have to provide for your kids, and if that's what your situation is, then that's fine, but you have to then be intentional. Okay, what time do I get home? What do we do at that time? Monday, what do we do in the evening together with my kids? What do I do on Tuesday? So what I do with I've got 2 kids, and there are different levels in school. What we do is have a schedule. So on Monday, one person is doing maybe reading and letters for my youngest. So each of them, we have a plan. We have a planner for the month, and then we sit down together during the weekend and look at what we're doing, and that's informed from regularly looking at what your kid is doing in school. So schools do send out what they do for the term, they plan for the term and all of that, so you know exactly what your child is going to be doing in school for that whole term. So you know where you can input and support them. So you use that to create a study plan at home for what your child might be struggling with, and you can only get to know that by being involved in what your child is doing on a day-to-day basis in school, having those discussions. There are also other options that you can use. So there are some online tools. Some of them are free, and depending on the focus, if your child is in primary school, for example, maybe maths and literacy would be your main focus. So there are so many programs online that offer modules that kids can walk through at their own pace. So if your kids come home before you, or if they spend time in an after school club or whatever the care is between when they finish school and when they come home, you can factor that into what they do between that time. Or even at home, when you first get home, when everyone is relaxed, you may not be able to support them every single day. So it might be Monday, they're doing their stuff online on the resources that you have chosen for them to do that, and that most of them gives you feedback on what topic they've done and what topic they need support in, which one they didn't do well, which one they need to go back to. But your children will not make much progress if you just leave their education to the teacher, if you just leave it to what they do in school, and just like, I'm the parent, I'll do the looking after and providing, the school does the education. Nah, that doesn't work.
Yeah, but the kids spend like how many hours at school? Let's say they go to school 9 o'clock and they finish at 3, and the parents spend, I would say, from by the time they get home, let's say 4 o'clock, have dinner, 5, they've probably spent, I would say, maximum of 3 hours together with their parents before bedtime, while they spend almost 7 hours or 6 hours at school. So if you look at the time they spend at school in relation to the time they spend with their parents, you would expect them to do better at school, because obviously they spend more time at school. So I don't know, you're a teacher, so maybe you should explain to us, because I don't know.
Right. On that, my opinion on this is everyone has someone they want to be proud of them, right? So in doing something, the kids want their parents to be proud of what they've done in school. So the effort that they're going to put in the school is a factor of what their parent is going to say about their work, how they are going to show it off to their parents. So if a kid knows that if they come to school, come back home, their parents don't even ask them what they do, the effort that they put in school is very limited. I've had so many kids say to me, like, if they're not doing their work very well, and you tell them, we've been trying to work on this to get better, it's not really working, I think we have to have a conversation with your parents so we see how we can help you. And you tell you things like, oh, good luck with that, my dad doesn't have the time, or my mom's not even interested.
Wow.
So you can see that it's not that he's not capable, but he doesn't feel that he has that connection in terms of their academic work to go back and show to their parents how proud they are, or their parents are showing any interest. So that interest that you show at home, even if it's just 30 minutes on a consistent basis, you might not do it every day, you might do it twice a week, 3 times a week, but you're consistent with it. Your child knows at that time you have dedicated it to looking at what they're doing in school, discussing the challenges they might be having, celebrating their wins. There's one thing that we parents forget to do. We only remember the things that our kids are not able to do in the academics. So whenever you're looking at the work, it's only like, oh, you didn't do this maths, you're really not good at maths, your literacy is really going down. And they might be good at 10 things, we have not remembered any of those. There are 2 that they are weak in or need to improve. We are just focusing all of our feedback on that. So it kind of deters the child from being open to you, with sharing what their challenges are. So praise them for the things that they're doing well. They've actually gone to school, they've behaved well, they've sat in lessons, they've been learning. Praise them for the things they've done well. And if there are things you see that they're having challenge with, discuss with them what is it that you can do to make that better. And also as a parent, don't feel like, some comments that parents also make in front of their kids about their own academic challenges, sometimes the way you put it can also make your child not to bother to put in the effort. Like I hear parents say like, oh, I wasn't good at maths in school. I was absolutely not good at maths in school. I don't believe that anybody is not good at something, but if you have the right support and you're able to put the right effort, maybe the mindset that you had about maths in your own time was, it's a scary subject, it's difficult, and that your child is in a different space and has a different kind of support. So you turn that into the positive, to say things like, I didn't have the chance to be as good as you can possibly be in maths, and I want to be able to help you to be, the best version of yourself in terms of your academics and things like that. That's the more positive light. So if you're just saying, oh, I wasn't good at maths in school, so your child will be like, yeah, my mom wasn't good at maths, why do I bother? But it doesn't really mean that your child would not be good at maths.
So from what you've said, just to answer the question that the lady asked, she's working 9 to 5, she's so busy, well, how is she going to support her kids? From what you've said, the first thing I got from that is that it's okay to work 9 to 5 if that's the only option you have, but you have to be very, very intentional by being focused. The little time you have with your kids in the evening, you have to make it count, right? Make sure you have stuff planned for their education. Make sure you have you've arranged things. It's the little time, provided you're consistent with it. Let's, like Esther said, 30 minutes maybe every other day, you have something you're doing with your kids, then that's something that can help. And secondly is be interested in their work as well. When they come back from school, you ask them, how was your day? What did you do at school? They tell you they tell you the things they've done at school, and you're very interested with that. Whenever they go to school, they want to make you proud, because they know that by the time they get home, mommy is going to ask, oh, how did you do? And they just want to show off. And another thing Esther said is the things we say in front of our kids. I remember, I think some people say the opposite way. Some parents say, oh, you know what, when I was in school, I always came first and blah, blah, blah. But I think Esther is saying it in the other way now. Those challenges that you had while you were at school, for example, maths, I didn't like certain courses while I was at school. But I know that in my house, I'm in charge of the English aspect of things, and my husband is in charge of the math aspect, because he's very good at that and I'm very good at this. So we both know what we can do to support our kids, and we're doing it in that way. So if, for example, you were not very good at maths while you were at school, like Esther said, that was your time. Maybe there were so many factors that came into play that made you not to be good at maths, not because you were not you didn't have the ability to be good at maths, but you just that something happened. So saying that to your kids might just be that thing that would make them, you know what, my dad wasn't good at maths, I can't be bothered, he's doing well anyway. So if he wasn't good at maths and he's this good, I don't think I need maths. So the things we say is very, very important. But what I want to ask Esther is that, how about people who, I've just mentioned something about it, like we're using maths as an example, that their kids are not very good at maths and they are not good at maths. How can they support their kids?
Very good question. You don't have to be a mathematician to support your kid in maths. There's so many tools. Like I said, there are so many tools that you can use to support your child. So most of these tools have already been set up to be step-by-step guides. And nowadays there are so many things. If you go on to, let's say your child is doing adding 3-digit numbers or adding fractions, just go on YouTube and type in how to add fractions. You will see a video. So if you have a topic, that's why it's very good to sit down and plan what you're doing with your kid over a month or over 2 weeks. I do a month, so you might do 2 weeks or weekly, whatever works for you. Yeah. There isn't any right or wrong way of doing it. Everything has to be how you can fit around what your own lifestyle and work is. So let's say, for example, you're doing 3 times a week, or you're doing 2 days a week. The other days that you're not actually doing active academic stuff with your kid, you're talking about what happened in school, while you're in the kitchen, while you're giving them a shower, preparing dinner, you guys are talking about what happened in school. So they have that confidence to share what happened, share their wins, and also share the challenges that they have, and you're picking that up, as you go along. So when you make the plan, you already know in advance what topics you're going to be supporting your child with. So you already have that plan. So you have the topics, you know the topics in advance. So you can, maybe at bedtime, before before you fall asleep, you just go on to, oh, I'm going to be doing adding fractions with different denominators. I have no idea what that even means. You just type that into Google or into YouTube, and you will definitely find lots of lessons on there that you can watch 1 or 2, and that will give you an idea of what is expected to do. I know that maths is not everybody's thing, but just making that effort to try and help you support your child. And also many schools also have tools that children can go on to. Some schools have resources that children can just go on to,
and even having a tutor as well. You can hire a tutor.
You can have a tutor if you can afford that, and if that's what works for you. But again, even when you're bringing a tutor in, you need to know where your child needs support. So don't leave it to the tutor to come and teach whatever they want to teach. You need to know what your child is supposed to be doing in school that term, where they are having challenges. So the tutor comes in and fills that gap for you. That will help you to make the best out of that support that you're getting from a tutor.
Wow. The thing is that if I leave Esther is going to say a lot of things, but obviously she's just answering a specific question, which I think most parents would actually relate to. I don't think there's any parent who is working 9 to 5, have young children like we do, that at one point or the other does not feel, oh, you know what, I feel like I need to support my kids in this area. One of the things I'm going to say is that, like Esther will always say, is that no mom, there's no perfect mom. Sometimes we do have this mom guilt where we feel like, oh, we're working too much, we're not there for our kids and all of that. Everyone feels that way at some point, but all you need to know is that even the work you're doing it for your children as well. The money you're going to get, or the wage you're going to get, you can use it to even hire a tutor for your child. Also bear in mind that there are people that are home, they're not doing anything. Let's say they're housewives that don't even have time as well to contribute in the education of their children. So in conclusion, don't feel guilty, don't feel sad. We're all experiencing it, we're all going through it. We're just like, there's no manual, there's no perfect manual that one will say, oh, let's read this page, this chapter, this, it tells us how to support our kids in education. Even from what we've said now may not even work for you, you know. So you need to find what actually works for you. There's definitely something out there that would work for you, but the truth of the matter is that you have to be consistent. You have to be interested in the education of your children. You have to be there for them, because to be fair, as soon as they go past this stage, you don't even need us anymore. So as much as possible, we should be present in their life within this age that they are. I pray God helps you anyway, because we're all in this whole thing together. Esther, thank you so much for coming. Thank you for explaining everything. I'm going to leave Esther's Instagram handle on the description section and also on this video, so in case you want to message Esther privately, feel free to do that, because she is very passionate about education of children and she is very, very experienced when it comes to kids education. So feel free to message her, she's going to respond. Or if you don't want to message her directly, you can message me and I will link you to Esther, because Esther will be glad to speak to you. So guys, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to press the subscribe button and the notification bell, and hopefully we'll be able to get you more content, more valuable content. Thank you so much for watching. Be grateful, be positive, and be yourself. See you on my next video. Bye for now.
Bye bye.